Hello everybody, welcome back to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we're live for Arsenal's trip to Fulham, the 5:30 game. But we've got lots to talk about before we talk about that. Not too sure why we've got... Oh no, that is the Arsenal team. I thought it was Chelsea still. We've got the 3 o'clock games to talk about and we've got a disgraceful decision in the Crystal Palace-Bournemouth game. I mean, look, we shouldn't be surprised. The PGMOL seem to be more interested in competing with EastEnders for ridiculous storylines than actually running, you know, the best league in the world's officiating. Bournemouth, very, very unlucky. I mean, to be fair, I did actually go with a draw in that game, didn't I? I think me and Robbie both went with a draw in that game. But, yeah, it's an interesting one because, well, it has ended in a draw, but I just don't think it's a penalty. Last minute of the game, 90+7, cross comes in. There's a bit of a tangle in the box. Did the referee give it or did VAR give it? I haven't seen that enough of it. But basically, tangle in the box, ends up with a penalty. Mateta scores 3-3 and Bournemouth are robbed of a result that would have been so good for them. I mean, so good for them and probably deserved from all accounts. But yet again, you know, we get this ridiculous VAR decision. And look, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Bournemouth up to 4th with 15 points. They'd have been top. They should have 2 more points. They'd have been top. They'd be top tonight for an hour or so. Instead, Man City are top. And I just think it's a shame. I think it's a real shame that, you know, poor officiating again has an impact on a game. Why don't you think it was a penalty? Because I think in the box, we'll see it in this Fulham-Arsenal game, there'll be numerous corners and there'll be numerous grabbing and they won't be given as a penalty. And look, we benefited from it. Man United got one against Fulham. And I've seen another one today. But that's just never right. Consistency is what fans crave. I don't know tomorrow if De Ligt grabs hold of McAllister and he falls over. Maybe we're gonna be Bournemouth and we're gonna get a penalty given against us where everyone goes, well, look at him, he's dragging him to the ground. And then you go, 95% of them don't get given. You're right, there is connection. He does fall to the ground, but 95% of them don't get given. So I think you've got every right to moan if you end up in the 5% where today it is a penalty. And that's what annoys me. If we're going to give penalties like that, and Crystal Palace, great team. You know, everyone likes Crystal Palace. They're a great team. I'm not moaning about Crystal Palace. Of course, if that happened to United, I'd be going penalty and I'd take advantage of it. We did against Fulham. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the officiating of the game and the inconsistency in the game, which is killing it. If it's a foul because you grab somebody in the box, then we should be getting about 10 penalties a game. But no, it's just like, it's the 97th minute, a Crystal Palace player's gone down. Ooh, let me do something dramatic. Over to That's Football for Mark Goldbridge to react to another crap ending from PGMOL. And that's what I feel. That's what I feel. I thought it was a great game. I thought it was an absolutely brilliant game and a great advert for the Premier League after what wasn't a great game in the half 12. But yeah, look, little bit annoyed by that. But let me get you the other scores because that's why I've gone live a little bit early here before we talk about the Arsenal game. So let me just pin them up on the screen for you then so you can visualise them. So as you can see, God knows what's going on there. That's the wrong week. Let me just see if somebody can change that for us. We'll take that off and I'll read it. That's strange, that was. Let me go back to the league table. Well, I'll put the Arsenal team up actually. Very good team for Arsenal. Saka, Gyökeres, Trossard, Eze in the starting lineup. What a back 5. Rice, Subamendi. I mean, Arsenal for me, this is where you make hay. There's a little bit of a concern in the sense that they are obviously coming off an international break, but it's a strong, strong Arsenal side. It really is. Have you seen the Bernardo Silva handball? I haven't, Tanishk. I haven't. And I will go looking for it, because if I can moan about City, I definitely will. Please do share the video, everybody. 2,000 here already. Make sure you are sharing the video and getting involved. Newcastle, look, let me go through these results. But first of all, let me have a quick look. I should have done the 3 o'clocks today. Although, I have to be fair, 12:30 with you, watched the Chelsea game. Finished at 2:30 in the garden with Seb on an autumn dry afternoon doing, you know, skills and shots for an hour, not drinks, just me. And then in for a cup of tea and a bit of Potter and a bag of peanut M&Ms, and then back with you lot. So you know what, the balance, life balance is good. So I'm not gonna moan about that one. Let me see if I can find this silver handball. I mean, obviously Man City won. You know, we all knew that. Yeah, that's a handball by Bernardo Silva, 100%. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's his hand is outstretched. I'm just going to tweet it for you now. That's why I'm here. Yeah, that's a penalty because the shot's going towards goal. But yeah, it's Man City. You don't expect that, do you? You don't expect that at all. Right, okay, I'm going to put the scores up on the screen for you. Let's have a quick look at those. Nice to see Stuttgart winning. Yes, very happy with that. Very happy with that. They're doing very, very well. They're one of my many teams in the Bundesliga, but we will be keeping an eye on Bayern Munich against Dortmund as well. They're playing at 5:30. So, look, really, I'm looking at me and Robbie's Premier League predictions, and I don't normally have them in front of me, but I'm sat here with a smiley face going, Chelsea, yes. Brighton, Newcastle, I got that wrong. Burnley against Leeds. Oh God, I've had a terrible week. I thought I said Burnley were going to win. Robbie said Burnley are going to win. I've gone with the draw. I'm having a crap week. I'm 2 down already. We both went City. Sunderland and Wolves, we both went Sunderland. We're both going Arsenal. Fucking hell, I'm in trouble here. Back behind again. I'm back behind again. Right, well, I thought I said Burnley win. I thought he said Burnley Leeds draw. That's a big win for Burnley, though. That is a big win for Burnley. Crystal Palace Bournemouth, as we mentioned, was a draw. Man City were always going to beat Everton. Sunderland beating Wolves. Terrible result for Wolves, but great result for Sunderland. Brighton beating Newcastle. Surprises me, but maybe Newcastle... yeah, maybe that's a problem. Maybe that's a problem for them. I want to have a look. I want to get the bottom 10 up on the screen just for just a moment, because I think it's starting to look quite ominous for Wolves, actually. Let's have a quick look here. So Wolves are stranded, really, already. We've only had 8 games, but they are 5 points from safety already. And that's not looking good for Wolves. Not looking good at all. Burnley, 7 points. That's not a bad start for them. Leeds only a point ahead of them. Brentford, despite many people saying, I think Brentford are vulnerable. And everyone said to me, wow, they beat United. Well, yeah, if we'd have bloody turned up and beat them, they'd be in the bottom 3. So Brentford are looking a little bit, obviously play West Ham on Monday night. Forest in the bottom 3 now. Ange gone. We've reacted to that already. Fulham, 14th. could lose today. Villa dropping down, Newcastle in the bottom half, and look at their goal difference. Man United in the bottom half at the moment, for the moment. We're down to 11th. I don't think it can get any worse for United unless Villa win tomorrow against Spurs. We could go to 12th. Fulham win. I doubt Fulham will win today, but there we go. And then into the top half, as we were looking at before, Sunderland back up to 7th with 14. But I thought Sunderland was shit against United, by the way. I don't know whether... That's the first time I've watched Sunderland play this season. I don't know whether Sunderland were just shit against United. Or I've got under my desk. It's actually quite nice around here. I might stay down here. I can't see the football. I've got a standing desk and there's a massive space underneath it. Somebody else could go... that's rude. Anyway, Sunderland were crap against United, but they have had a very good start to the season. Maybe they just had a bad day. Mancini's been contacted by Forest. I mean, I like Mancini, but I don't know whether that ends well. Palace obviously drew. Brighton, good win for them. It's a bad day for United, you know. I've just realised that's a bad day for United because Brighton have won. Sunderland have won. Chelsea have won. There's a lot of teams that have moved ahead of us now. The league table doesn't look good if we get beat by Liverpool tomorrow, does it, basically? Ray says it's better when you're ducked down. Thanks, pal. Yeah, thanks for that. I haven't done the stand-up desk for weeks because I've not felt well enough to do it, as bad as that sounds. You know, because it takes a little bit more effort to talk when you're moving around and stuff. And it's nice to be back standing up. So great. What's for dinner, Mark? I'm not going to tell you till I've ordered it because I don't want you to mess up my order. You know, loads of people might go, I want to do that. And then it messes up my order. Pizza. What lineup, Mark? I see no Champions League winner, says Rub. Arsenal, mate, you want to grab the oil, says Alex. He's back again. Thoughts on footballing greatness, says Rajaf. I don't know what that is, but thank you very much. Did Coventry win again? I hope so. My builders are Coventry City fans, and they did win 2-0. There we go. Lovely stuff. Coventry winning 2-0 in the Championship. Birmingham losing to Hull. They're in trouble, Birmingham City. Big trouble. Charlton beating Sheffield Wednesday. We like Charlton. We were there last year. They're doing best out of the newly promoted teams. Wrexham losing to Stoke as well. Southampton drew again, 0-0 with Swansea. Leicester are playing Portsmouth tonight at 7:45. Don't know why that's happening. And then just a quick shout out for the Bundesliga because we do cover it here. Cologne drew with Augsburg. Heidenheim drew with Bremen. Mainz lost 3-4 to Leverkusen. Leipzig win again, 2-1 against Hamburg. And Stuttgart won 3-0 away at Wolfsburg. So Stuttgart and Leipzig and Leverkusen doing very well. The battle for top four is really kicking off there. Napoli are 0-0 with Torino. They kicked off 22 minutes ago. So there we go. Right, shall we move to the Prem? Can I just run a poll here, actually? Yes, you can. Was it a penalty? Well, it depends whether you've seen it. Was it a pen for Palace? Somebody said before, was it a pen? Look, technically it may well be a penalty. People can argue and say he pulls him off. Sorry, pulls, that would be, well, maybe it wouldn't be a penalty. I don't know. Pulls him down. My point is, don't look at it as an individual foul. Look at it as how many of them actually get given. And 95% of them don't. So all it was, if you haven't seen it, is last minute of the game, in stoppage time, Bournemouth are winning 3-2. Cross comes into the box. There's a tanglement between a Palace player and a Bournemouth player. The Palace player goes down. The penalty is given. But these are not given every week. Otherwise, you'd have 5 penalties a day. A game. Is Odegaard the best player in the league next to Kevin De Bruyne, says Rajaf? I do like Odegaard. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I do like Odegaard. But I think that, you know, he's not fit today. What's going on with Anthony Robinson, by the way? Let's have a look at Fulham here. Let's just take a little look at Fulham. So, Fulham, no Anthony Robinson again. And I don't know why. And I don't know why I'm talking like that either. Anyway, Anthony Robinson started the season off injured, not on the bench again today. Is he injured again? What's going on? Their best player last season, and he's out injured again. So I don't know what's happened with him. But Fulham, I mean, look, Man United played Fulham. We should have been 3-0 up at half time. They fought back in the second half. Fulham are the quintessential Premier League side. They are. You never know what you're going to get in the Premier League when you play Fulham. You might beat them, they might beat you, they might get a draw. Honest team, Leno, Sessegnon, Kunka, Anderson, Castagnet, Carne, Berg, Iwobi, King, Wilson, Jimenez. They're just a Premier League side, aren't they? But I do think that, you look at that Arsenal side of Raya, Calafiore, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Rice, Subamendi, Eze, Trossard, Gyökeres, Saka. And I just see, I look at the bench as well. Kepa, Dauman, Luis Skelly, Martinelli, Moreno, Mosquera, Wanyeri, Norgard, White. It's just a very good squad. And they've still got Madueke and Odegaard and Havertz to come back. They've got a very good squad. I predicted Arsenal to win the league. Before it was groovy, I predicted Arsenal would win the league. And you know what? If they go and do... I expect my match reaction to be Arsenal incredible again. I expect that to happen. Hincapié as well. Excited to see what he can do, Neil. Are City making a comeback? Nah. No. I mean, City seem to play crap teams at home every week, but I think Arsenal this season are looking very, very good. And I think I looked at this before the international break, but you sometimes have to refresh your mind. Crystal Palace at home next week. Then they play Burnley away and Sunderland away. 3 away games for Arsenal in their next 4. Fulham, Burnley, Sunderland with a Palace home game. Now, I would say 4 wins from 4. That would be massively disrespectful to the Premier League. But if Arsenal can go and get 4 wins from 4, they suddenly become very, very dangerous indeed. So I think Arsenal, obviously, they've been to Anfield, they've been to Old Trafford, they've played Man City. They've been to Newcastle as well. So they've had a hard-ish start. They've now got 4 games where the Arsenal fan would say, this is where we'll bloody draw games, They've got to go and win. Alex says, do you feel bad that you picked us to lose? Who's us, Alex? Let me know. Do you think it's too long to take... sorry, this is a good question by Michael, actually. Do you think it's taken too long to sort out Manchester City charges compared to other Premier League clubs already punished? Yes, I do. I mean, again, I've sort of checked out in relation to that. I thought it was quite an interesting story when it started, and we were told it was going to happen by the end of last season. We're now being told that it's going to happen in the next international break. I just find it quite boring now. I'm finding it quite boring. I think the Premier League are a really incompetent organisation, in my opinion, and I just don't think they're going to make any headway in this. I think we're just going to sit there and go, what a big waste of money and a big waste of time. You've embarrassed yourself trying to take Man City down, and they've schooled you. That's what I think is going to happen. But we'll wait and see. Do you think the Ange Postecoglou sacking was fair? I did do a reaction to the sacking already. It's on the channel. I feel like we, as football fans, and I'm sure everybody felt this, it just wasn't going to work. I think sometimes you can be very critical of ownership, justifiably. But I do think that they have acted. I mean, it's harsh on Ange, of course it is. I mean, he'll be well recompensed. But you know what? I do think that they've made decisive action very, very quickly, and the owner will obviously get a lot of criticism for what he's done. But Ange wasn't there very long, and they've reacted to it, haven't they? So you could sort of say, look, absolute massive mistake. Massive, massive mistake. No doubts. But they have changed very, very quickly. So, but he had to go. The players didn't suit his system. He didn't seem to know what he's doing. Starting a 1 year today, I mean, that's one of the worst striking performances I've seen in a long time. So yeah, I think that was a huge mistake. And, you know, I suppose there's an element of sympathy, but it's a bad fit. Reminds me of David Moyes at Man United. You know, the sooner you rectify the mistake, the better. Are you ready for a King masterclass, says Robert McCormack. Yeah, we do like King, to be fair, at Fulham. Criminal that goal at Chelsea wasn't given. I'm going to go with an Arsenal win. Definitely. I think everybody has. But there just seems to be, I think about Arsenal now, when I watched them last season and the season before and they finished second, yes, they did very, very well, but I always felt there was an air of vulnerability to them. But I really should be being paid by the word vulnerability today because I have used it a lot. But you felt like you felt like this game might be a potential slip up, but this new Arsenal and squad makes a big difference and recruitment makes a big difference. I just feel like they've got that strong defence, they've got that know-how, and they've got competition for places. And you know, normally you'd see an injury to Odegaard and Saka, etc., and you'd go, that's going to be a problem for them. But they're dealing with it a lot better now. 59% of you think it was a penalty for Palace, and 41% say no. There you go. You've spoken. I'll tell you, all I'll say is, why don't we get 6 of those a game then? And to which you cannot answer. Ooh, Gyökeres. I'll tell you what, I'd like to see Gyökeres start scoring some goals now for Arsenal. They've had long enough to know what he's all about. And I do think he is going to start scoring goals. I was probably a little bit naive giving him the golden boot. Lovely play down the left-hand side by Fulham. Because it will be Haaland, won't it? But I do think he'll start scoring some goals at some point. Awayby with the cross, headed away. Had time there, Trossard. You had timed. How are you not streaming the biggest game in the Bundesliga? How do you know I'm not, CJ? We'll keep you up to date with what's going on in that one. LFC Rookie says, you're such an Arsenal fan, mate. Get a grip. Well, and yet it gets called That's Liverpool all the time, this channel. How's about it's just a very diverse and fair YouTube channel. So when we talk about Liverpool and get called That's Liverpool, it's because we're fair. And when we talk about Arsenal and we get called That's Arsenal, it's because we're fair. But to be honest with you, mate, any Liverpool fan is going to applaud me for this. Of course I want Arsenal to win the league. You are our biggest rival. I do not want you to win the league. Simple as that. Next question. Do you think we'll beat you tomorrow? I've gone with the Liverpool win. I think when you look at the results today in the Premier League, how many home wins have we had? Oh, Forest are shit. They don't count. Gyökeres, Leno's got hold of that. Brighton won at home. Burnley won at home. Palace drew at home. Man City won at home. Sunderland won at home. I think after the international break, it massively favours the home teams. Torino are beating Napoli 1-0. Simeone McTominay's fell off a little bit, hasn't he? I saw something about that the other day. I don't think he's even starting. Neither's Rasmus. I don't know where Rasmus is. He's not even on the bench. No Rasmus and no McTominay for Napoli. And neither of them are on the bench. Talk to me, Goose. What's that all about? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Get some weird team selections. McTominay's injured. Both injured, apparently. Thoughts on having fans... Rubbish cross there from Trossard. JP says, what are your thoughts on having fans on and giving their opinions on their teams? I think it will be a fun segment. What, on this channel? No. Sorry. Thanks for your super chat. No. Why would I want to do something every other YouTube channels does? I tell you what, why don't we just do it on StreamYard and do those crappy little 4 things where everybody sits and has an argument about something? Yeah. There's plenty of places for you to go and watch that. This is how we do it. Gyökeres can't get golden boot because he hasn't got penalties, says Robert. I knew you'd be a Gyökeres hater. Do you think Isak leaving is keeping Howe employed, says Universal Soldier? I would never want Eddie Howe to get sacked. I think having an English manager that plays in the Champions League is so important, and he has done a very good job at Newcastle, but the league is very competitive. You don't know what you're going to get with Brighton, do you? And Newcastle got beat. I went with the Newcastle win. Stupid. What's your favourite ice cream flavour? Oh, we're not doing that already. We're only 6 minutes in. A foul on Saka. I think Wolves are going down, says Chris Wolves. I think it's tough, isn't it? You know, you can't keep selling good players like Cunha and Neto and Altnori and expect to stay up. I think the coach is decent, but I ultimately think they lack quality, you know? But we can't moan about bad results and then celebrate what a competitive league we've got. I mean, you know, as much as I felt Bournemouth were unlucky, it's a great point for Palace, and I did predict a draw in that game. And as much as I thought Newcastle would beat Brighton, it's a very good result for Brighton. And it's that unpredictability that, you know, Brighton go to United next week, we'll beat them because Brighton won't turn up. And that's, you know, welcome to Brighton. I probably just jinxed United, but I fully expect us to beat Brighton. It's more Liverpool away, Spurs away, and Forest away that I'm worried about. Who do you think... Kean says, I like the United stand Christmas jumpers. Mark got matching ones for me and my missus. The best one we've ever done. I'll wear it again tonight. Lovely ball into Gyökeres. Probably should have had a shot there. Probably should have had a shot on his left foot and backed himself. It's really, there's no cutback at all. It's a lovely ball by Rice. He's onside. There's no one there for the cutback. I think you've got to shoot there. Jake says, you're too confident thinking United will beat Brighton. Man United, we've been pretty good at home this season, and I think we've got to, if we can win our home games, it just keeps us going, you know? What minute did Baleba get subbed off for Brighton? He did start, and he did get subbed. Be interesting to see if he plays next week. He got subbed in the... I'm going to say 63rd minute. 71! Better. Well done. 71 minutes. Fulham on the attack here. Good defending by Trossard. What role would you play? Al Pacino in Godfather or De Niro in Goodfellas? For me, I think I could do both. My favourite role would probably be... I quite like Val Kilmer in Heat. I quite like that role. I'd be very good as the DiCaprio one in The Departed. I always wanted to do a bit of acting, and I'm surprised I've never been approached because I think I would be very good at it. I'd definitely... something like EastEnders would be a piece of piss. That's not acting. Oh, I've upset Ian Beale now. Thank you very much, JP. In hindsight, Gyökeres over Haaland was too much, says Rajaf. Fulham on the attack here. Wilson down the right-hand side. They've had a good start, Fulham. It is a London derby. It's a lovely ball as well. And, oh, Iwobi's on the back post, but it's going to go for a corner. Goes for a corner. It's more fun when I stand up. I think when I sit down, I just get a little bit lethargic. Dizzy says, I think you underestimate the acting craft. I've done acting, mate. I went to the Gaiety School of Acting when I lived in Dublin for 3 years. Oh, good block. Good corner routine from Fulham. What about Panto? Show me the money. That's why people do Panto. You know, there are washed up pop stars, actors, and what do they call them? Reality stars who sit on their arse for 9 months of the year until October to do pantomime. And then they make their money off pantomime. Dirty Den, who is now dead, from EastEnders, every year he'd be the villain in pantomime, and you clear up. John Barrowman, that's another one as well. You clear up, big time. Voldemader's goal today was very, very good. Unfortunately, they didn't win. Still 0-0 between Bayern and Dortmund. Big game that. I think Bayern will win. At home as well. So apparently, well, actually, I won't say apparently because I need to confirm it first. Oh, yeah. Joe Bellingham's dad's fuming. He's on the bench again. Fulham half chance. Wilson never really connected on it. Yeah, 10 minutes gone in the Bayern Munich versus Dortmund game. Highlight of the game so far is Joe Bellingham's dad having an argument with the Dortmund manager on the touchline. Good game this, though. You know, it's quite an open game. I sense we'll get some goals. Speaking of Barrowman, what's your favourite Doctor Who? Says Absorber. Look, I'm not going to say people who watch Doctor Who are nonsense or anything stupid like that, but I don't like Doctor Who. I just don't get it. I used to watch it occasionally when the Daleks were in it, but I just never liked Doctor Who. It's like Star Trek. I just can't be arsed with Star Trek either. But I do like Star Wars. Well, not the new stuff, not since it went to Disney. Andor was all right, but... Anyhow, Arsenal, 13 minutes in. I think they need to just get a little bit more control of this game. I think Arsenal probably are the sort of team where the international break is a problem because, you know, before the international break, they're in a rhythm, they're getting good results. You have the international break. Obviously, most of your players are international. You come back on a difficult London derby against Fulham, away from home. And, you know, you've got to get that rhythm going again. It can be a dangerous time. I just think when you're looking at games after the international break, form does tend to go out the window, which is why I'm sort of hoping United tomorrow. might do something. That's why we pray. Who was that? MC Hammer. You've got to pray just to make it to. I hope it's MC Hammer. Sometimes you don't know these days whether you might be singing a song about someone who's done something wrong. Do you want Fulham to win? Hey, if Fulham win this game, I'd be there applauding them. But in the context of winning the league title, I'd rather Arsenal win it. What a goal! What a goal, Calafiori! Oh, he's offside. That would have been brilliant timing. He's offside. I think he looked offside, but the finish was brilliant. Nod down from Trossard, took it on his left foot. Unsavable finish, but he did look a little bit offside. He's onside there. And he's offside there. Yeah. It's a shame. He took it so well. He did take it so well. Jason's got an either or. Best day, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I will let everybody else do that. I can't believe in America you have to go back to school. Back to work the day after Christmas Day. Oh, good play. Left-hand side. Terrible cross when you've got a 3v4, but they've still got it, Fulham. Awarby. He's got a second chance to cross. And that's not a foul. It's not a foul. Just let the game run, you knobhead. Here we go. I need a breather. This is what I've figured it out. This is what Premier League referees do. They call soft fouls because they're not fit. See, it was a soft foul. We've not started again yet. No. Let's take a breather, everybody. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. Not even a bloody foul. It's not even a foul. Jamie M says, what's your thoughts on Burnley against Leeds, Mark? Very good win for that. Philip says, can you talk about your political beliefs, please? Yeah, I'd just love to spend next week with half of the world trying to cancel me because it's not what they believe in. I don't do politics. I'm here to talk about football. What's your opinion on shock collars for dogs? I don't even know what they are. Fulham on the attack. Hits it! Oh, good block. Goes for a corner. Fulham are in this game. They're in this game. It's a good performance. Start, bench, sell. Layman, Seaman, check. Start, check. Bench, Seaman, sell, Layman. Thank you, rascal. And old Brownie says, smart Mark, don't talk about politics, just sing the theme tune to Dallas instead. Oh, what a tune. Dun, dun. Remember when Dallas scored for Leeds? Dun, 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 dun. I loved that clip. He probably should have done a little bit better. Dun, 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 dun. That was a good... I can't remember who he scored against. It was probably Man City if I got that excited. Another foul. Anthony Taylor needs another rest. Let's start the game again. Let's stop the game again. Yeah. I'm never going to stop calling it out because at some point Howard Webb might actually bloody listen as to how often they stop the game. Yeah, still 0-0. Bayern and Dortmund. 18 minutes gone. I'll get involved in the poll in a minute. Christmas Day against Christmas Eve, as per Jason Marsh. United stand 8 o'clock. Don't know what we're talking about tonight. Actually going to be a proper Saturday night live. Can we see your setup one day, says Ziza. You'll be seeing my bloody kitchen. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks. Live stream Cooking with Goldbridge. Be actually quite good to do a live Cooking with Goldbridge, because when I used to do the other ones, because it was pre-recorded, you know, there's less pressure if you get things wrong. But I think Fulham are the better team here in the first 20 minutes. I think Arsenal have been a little bit off. And this is what title races are made of. These sort of games, you've got to find another gear or two. As he's having to drop very deep. That ball, Saliba's ball there should have gone to Saka. Calafiori will pick it up. Oh, Trossard. I'm not a massive fan of Trossard. I don't know what he's like in the Arsenal fan base, but I'm not a massive fan of Trossard. A lot of attacks break down. Timber. Saka's got a bit of space. Uses the overlap. Greedy, greedy. That's the problem you're up against with when you're Gyökeres, though. Saka there. Is he looking for the cross, or is he looking for the cut in inside and shoot? Saka's a bit like Salah, isn't he? He's got goals in him. Joseph says, I think Trossard is better off the bench. Brendan says Trossard is mid. Jacob says, can we do a Q&A show on United Stand? Well, yeah, we know 8 o'clock's normally a bit like that anyway, mate. I've played the game. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Please share the video. We're getting close to 10,000. Good to have football back. Ooh, Trossard. Oh, what a surprise. Drops to somebody in the box who could get a shot off and they miss it. Trossard. Timber. Ezzy. Use Saka. 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 Leno gets hold of that. Bayern 1. Dortmund 0. Inevitable. Who will it be, though? Will it be? Yeah, Kane. Harry Kane. What a surprise. They are relentless. Bayern. The trouble is, they are just so good. I actually want to see them playing in the Champions League against good teams because they're just so good at the moment. I enjoyed their game against Chelsea. I think in November they're playing PSG. Yeah, Tuesday the 4th of November. I'm looking forward to that. And then they've got Arsenal at the end of November. So really looking forward to those 2 games. They're a good side. I can't believe it on the poll. Christmas Day's winning. What's the better day, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? I'm firmly, not in a sex way, Christmas Eve. I like the anticipation. I actually I had a dream last night. It was Christmas and it was Boxing Day. And I was like, oh. Then I woke up and I was like, don't worry. Fulham on the attack. Iwobi. A former Arsenal player, actually, yes. Goal kick. Some dude says Christmas Day is too long. That's what she said. It's the same as every other day. Collier's got injured for West Brom, says Big Gamer. Christmas Day has the better TV. Oh, I think Christmas TV is shit these days. You better. The good thing about now is that you can literally do your own TV schedule, can't you? So you can save a film or a series. Timbers Class says BE. Yeah, definitely best right back in the Prem this season. Fulham coming forward again. They have got. I like what he's done today with the Jimenez selection, because he's obviously very good in the air, and so are Arsenal. So it just makes that ability to whip a cross in very, very interesting. Here's Wilson again. Just wide. I think he should have gone the other post, really. But they're pushing Fulham. As I said before, they're in the game. Max says you can drink at 9 a.m. on Christmas Day. Yeah, it's legal. We always have Bucks Fizz, which is orange juice and champagne. And I hate champagne, but I'll just have a bit. 400th club goal for Harry Kane. Papa says, actually, it's not tactical. We don't have much choice because Manus is injured and Jimenez is not fully fit. Evans official says, as Arsenal fans, we don't even like our left wing options. They're both better off the bench. Yeah, I do wonder with Madueke back whether there's a case, and Odegaard back, there's a case to use Madueke off the left or Eze off the left. I mean, Arteta does like Trossard. Yeah, well, every Christmas Day morning when my mum's, when my missus says, "Do you want a Bucks Fizz?" I just say, "Hold on, I'm making my mind up." I should do stand up. Get about 2 laughs. When I did the live show in Dublin, it's funny. You're right. You come up with ideas, and sometimes the most simplest thing will make everybody laugh, and then the ones that you really think are funny, no one will laugh. You really do understand why comedians do test runs, because you just don't know what's going to hit. Well, that will go over a lot of people's heads. Bucks Fizz was a Eurovision winner for the UK with the song called Making Your Mind Up. LFC Rookie says, apologies, Mark, I was just irritated. Don't apologise, mate. I thought it was just banter anyway. It's fine. You feel like Fulham need to capitalise on this start, because the longer it goes 0-0, and we know Arsenal are very good defensively, the longer it goes like this, the more you feel Arsenal will find their rhythm. If you can change your voice, Deitch or Carragher? It'd have to be Deitch. Reece James or Timber Poll? I will do that in a bit. Calafiori. Too much power on the cross. Who do you think would be a good manager for Forest, Mark, says Chev, the engineer? Well, I'm hearing things about Mancini from old Ornstein. But I would presume Sean Dyche is probably the favourite. He's massively the favourite. Sean Dyche is massive favourite to get it. Spalletti, who I think is the Napoli manager. No, not the Napoli manager, Spalletti. It's Conte, isn't it? I don't know what Spalletti's doing. Rafa Benitez. I'll tell you what. If they go for Rafa Benitez, that's an inevitable sacking. Don't go anywhere near Benitez. Don't go anywhere near Benitez. Sean Dyche will... They might not feel he's ambitious enough, you know. Corner, cross from Wilson, caused Raya a bit of problem there. I think Sean Dyche will give them some stability. The trouble with Dyche is he going to win you the Europa League? Is he going to get you top 4? And I think there's a lot of money that's been spent on Forest, and they might look at it and go, yeah, Dyche plays a little bit like Nuno, but we want to win the Europa League. We want to play in the Champions League, and that might put them off that. Boring Benitez. Benitez had his time a long time ago, Danny. I don't want to disrespect him, but I wouldn't go anywhere near him if I was a Premier League club. Just an injury here to a Fulham player. I just have a look at Ornstein. Apparently somebody said that he'd spoken about the managerial situation. Yeah, Nottingham Forest have contact with Mancini as an option to become the new manager. According to sources in Italy, he's available and has Premier League experience. It's a tough job. I think it's becoming increasingly harder to step into the Premier League during the season. The last person to do it well was probably Moyes with Everton last season. Emery did it well, obviously. But if you look at Amorim, you look at Ange, you look at Potter, it's difficult. It's difficult to step into a football club when the season started because the Premier League is just so competitive now. What about Nigel Clough? Do you think Elise is underrated, says Kamsi? Well, he's not underrated on here. We talk about him all the time. He's a fantastic player. Fantastic player. I just realised I've not looked at the NFL scores at all in the international break. I feel bad. Oh, the Bills lost again. What's going on? And the Chiefs won again. Ah, it's back to normal. That's 2 on the bounce for the Bills. What's going on? Do I not like that? Back up and running here now. I'm not bloody playing this week either. It's their week off. Great. Mayo says, I'm in Buffalo. Has it started snowing yet? I need to go to Buffalo. The weather's my kind of weather. Saka. Look, Arsenal have been second best marginally. No doubt about it. But they're in the game. It's 0-0. Not created enough. I would say Arsenal suffering with a bit of a hangover. Reminds me a little bit of the game against United at Old Trafford, where we were probably a little bit like Fulham, the better team, and Arsenal just looked out of sorts. Trossard again, he so loses the ball every time. Calafiori, Good block. Corner. Well, this is where it gets interesting. Arteta! This is Phil Mitchell. Arteta! Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. I don't know whether we hit 430,000 earlier. I will check in a minute. But I need to watch a film tonight. Cross going to come in here. They're good at corners. They've gone short. What are they doing? What are they doing a short corner for? Absolute shit corner. Don't ever do that again, Arsenal. I thought you'd come up with some new NFL play there. It was absolute shite. Nothing happened. I can't wait for the match tomorrow. I can't wait for it so much. I'm not going to do Spurs Villa. Gyökeres. Good save, Leno. Good shot. Good shot. Good save. From that angle, I like that from Gyökeres. He was onside. It's a difficult angle, but the power there, that's what he can do. You've got to feed him like that. Lovely by Saka. Hits it really well from that angle. And Leno makes a good save. Yeah, for me, tomorrow is all about building up for that game. Liverpool Man United at Anfield is always the game that gets me stressed the most. You know, there's that picture of me behind the chair looking sad. It's the biggest game of the season. I will be avoiding any other football other than that tomorrow. Anything could happen tomorrow as well. I mean, Liverpool could click into gear. United could be shit and it could be a humiliation. Could be a bore draw where neither team play well. Liverpool might continue to struggle and United might play really, really well. So, yeah, anything's possible. And it's live. Hazard says, what's your opinion on Harry Kane doing well for club and country? It's great to see. It's great to see. And what I love about Tuchel at the moment is he's resisting the glamour of Bellingham and Foden to build a team around Harry Kane. And you need people who run past Harry Kane. And we've got a chance. We've got a chance. You know, I think England are very frustrating when they don't play to Harry Kane's strengths. It becomes a mishmash. What do Arsenal need to do here? Up the tempo a little bit, really. They've got options on the bench. I wouldn't be surprised if they use Dowman, you know, at some point. They need somebody who's just going to run at them. They need to start making space. They're playing the percentages game here where let's keep the clean sheet and rely on maybe a set piece or a moment. But, you know, Fulham are playing well. And this is what the Premier League is very good at. Lovely play by Saka. Corner. Inter Miami are moving to a new stadium next season. Now they will be playing in Miami instead of Fort Lauderdale. Just added an hour drive to see them. There we go. This is who to blame. Amazing breaking news. Another corner for Arsenal. Rascal says, do you think players who used to play as midfielders make better managers compared to players who used to play as forwards? Sir Alex Ferguson was a striker. I rest my case, Your Honour. I don't think Wenger and Mourinho really played football at a level that you'd even give a shit about what position they played in. Saka's cross, back post. Gabriel headed away. Starting to hot up this game. Declan Rice does well. Just starting to up the tempo a little bit here, Arsenal. Go on, that's the ball. Eze, wide to Saka. What are we doing? Oh, head injury. By the rule, I'll stick up for the referee here. Very rare moments in history where I back the referee. And it's a shame because Arsenal were on a good break, but the rules are the rules and it is a head injury. And I have to say, I like this player, King. And, well, I say head injury. What happened? Look, you got to say it's his own player who hits him in the face and he goes down, and it is a head injury. Look, you can moan at the referee all you like. He's if that player ends up knocked out or whatever, it's one of those ones where I hate it when they stop the game for a knee injury or something like that. But when it's head, you've got to take notice. That's what she said. Hispanic people love Christmas Eve. Well, I'm going to close this poll because I need to do Reece James against Timber. Somebody asked before, can we have a poll, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? 49% say Christmas Eve. Christmas Day gets 51%. It's official. Christmas Day has beaten Christmas Eve. And I love that because I would go Christmas Eve. So I quite like it when people give different opinions. Right, let me get this other one down that some people have been asking for. Either or. Timber or James? Massively intriguing game, this. Certainly in the balance. I wonder if Whoop's giving me any good... I did play football today. 11.5. There we go. It's not even registering a bloody activity, you twat. Still not. Is this still the head injury? Oh my Christ. Is this still the head injury? Yeah. Bloody hell. We're only just started again. Having a laugh. You having a laugh? Is he having a laugh? Having a laugh. Saka. Arsenal starting to move higher up the pitch. Have you noticed that? Saka. Cross. Corner. Good player. Good player. Well done. See what happens with this corner. That's a better corner. Good punched away by Leno. Sorry, I was just getting my order in for my dinner. You got to do it. You got to do it. It's a very stop-start game, says Daniel. Well, I'm not going to complain about... Well, I am going to complain about it, but I'm not going to say I didn't haven't said this numerous times. Another break as well. You know what? This is the problem with the Premier League. And I know sometimes it can't be helped, but it does happen a hell of a lot. I think the players do it as well. I think the players... It's Mick Jagger. Oh, hello. It's Mick Jagger. Hello. Yeah. Dancing in the street. Mick Jagger in the stadium. He's got the moves like Jagger. Probably some people. The sad thing is, there might be a lot of people watching that going, they don't know who he is. Come on, yeah, let's get in the streets, yeah, you know. Yeah, way too stop-start the Premier League. I don't know what we can do about it. I think, you know what? I think the players play into it though, because they know the referees will give them soft free kicks, so they play for it themselves. We need to start analysing. Psychologically, it feels like there's a lot more stop-start in the Prem, but we need to analyse how many minutes of football we get in play in 90 minutes compared to other leagues. No idea who Mick Jagger is. Oh my God, mate. Educate yourself. Rolling Stones. If you like Slow Horses, is that not him singing the tune on that? You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you get what you need. I'm trying to think of really popular and I nearly sang one. Rolling Stones song. Angie. Yeah, the Rolling Stones are good. Brilliant bit of music in The Departed, actually, Rolling Stones. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't sing, John, but doesn't matter. I'm trying to tell people who the Rolling Stones are. How much money to get you in a cage with a shark? No, you don't go in a cage. I tell you what, if someone did a GoFundMe and raised £1 million for Marie Curie, I'd do it. That's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. 6 minutes added on. Gyökeres. He likes to run. Lovely ball into Timber. Look at the numbers Fulham have got back, though. Arsenal have got no numbers forward, but they win a corner. This is where Gyökeres is really good. The burst of pace there, gets the ball. There's no numbers there for Timber. Timber's beaten Reece James by 61%. There have been records playing and children playing and dancing in the street. New York City. David Bowie as well. Rest in peace. Trossard. And away. Rolling Stones or the Beatles? I'll do a poll on it. I don't rate the Beatles. I actually think Take That are better than the Beatles. I like more Take That songs than the Beatles. That's not a lie. People are going to go, oh, here we go. It's like saying EastEnders is better than The Godfather. Well, I prefer Take That to the Beatles. I like Queen. I don't think Queen are overrated. There's no time for us. It's all decided for us. Who Wants to Live Forever? The Show Must Go On. Radio Gaga. Under Pressure. Mark hates the Beatles because they're Scousers. I don't... They have done a good couple of... I like Let It Be. There's another one I like that's a bit like Let It Be. Yesterday, it's quite good. But I don't like all that bloody helter-skelter crap and Ticket to Ride. Can't be arsed with that. Something's a good song, written by George Harrison. Do you prefer Girls Aloud to the Beatles? That's too far, and that's not about music, is it, if we're being completely honest? Yellow Submarine, rubbish. Dale says, Arsenal are boring to watch like Man City. I think in this game, they need to be a little bit more on the front foot, definitely. It is a little bit strategic, which can also be classed as dull. That's a lovely ball by Rice. Timber, cut it into Saka, too slow. Rice. Oh, I thought he'd scored then. I genuinely thought he'd scored then. He's wrapped his foot round that. And it's not that close. It's not that close. That's 6 minutes, ref. Blow your whistle. Fleetwood Mac or Queen. You can go your own way. You can go your own way. Sound like a constipated cat. Queen for me. I do like some Fleetwood Mac songs. Can you hear me calling out your name? I don't know what to say. Go on. That was too high. Half time, 0-0. Let's have a look at the stats on the boards. Good watch along tonight. I feel like football is back. Forest Chelsea was really drab. I feel like this is a return to proper watch alongs because I'm stood up. I had to go through the fitness test today. I have to stand up for Man United Liverpool. I can't sit down for that. God no. God no. No. Definitely not. Right, let's have a look at the stats on the boards, Miss Ford. Who remembers that on a Saturday night? Who am I? Who is it? Come on, get in the chat. Who is this? You gotta know. Life is the name of the game, and I wanna play the game with you. Bruce Forsyth. Nice to see you. Nice. Harder than eight. Harder than eight. People, if you don't know who that is, you're probably going, he's having a mental breakdown. Coldplay or One Direction? Definitely Coldplay. Okay, so Arsenal, 71% possession, 8 shots to 6, 1 shot on target. And it feels a little bit like that. Not enough goal mouth action for me. That's what she said. I've done 3 of them already. Come on. Sometimes you don't get one. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. It's a great song. I do think that's a very good song. Yesterday's good as well. I read Paul McCartney's autobiography years ago. I'm sure he used to go and put rats on barbed wire or something. I might be completely wrong on that, but I'm sure in his book, I might be mixing it up with something else, but yeah. Anyway, we need to see more from Arsenal in the second half because, you know, Man City are coming and they're coming hard. And Liverpool could well be back in action. Well, they will be back in action tomorrow, but they may well be, you know, winning. Who knows what happens tomorrow? And when you look at that league table for Arsenal as it stands, okay, you're top of the league by a point. But do you look at Fulham as a point gained or 2 points lost? And I think in the context of trying to win the league, you got to go and win these games. You know? So I think we need to see more from Arsenal. If you're an Arsenal fan, I think you could be in completely agreement. Fulham have done well, But I think for half an hour, I think the last 15 minutes of the first half, they sat deep and Arsenal started to take control. If we are to see a Fulham result here, I think they need to get back causing Arsenal problems. And they haven't really done that. There are bench options for Arsenal. I think they're going to have to use them. I think a game like this, you do miss Odegaard as well. I like Eze, but in fairness to Eze, I think this is a great point by me. Eze at Crystal Palace will not be used to playing against a low block. So this is going to be something new for Eze. He's very good in the counter with space, but against a low block, it's going to take Eze a bit of time to get used to that. Which is where Odegaard's really, really important. Obviously, they don't have him. So looking at the bench, I think they need Wanyeri maybe Dauman to run at them a little bit. But they're going to need a little bit of something that isn't just keep passing, keep probing, keep pressing, keep probing. They need someone to unlock the padlock, basically, which is Fulham's defence. And that's either going to be a set piece or a moment of magic, or they're going to have to up the tempo a little bit. So, yeah, that's what I would expect. Still 1-0 to Bayern against Dortmund. It's half-time there as well because they kicked off at 5:30. I haven't watched the Ed Gein on a Netflix documentary. I'm currently watching the Victoria Beckham one because that's just the way I roll. You know, I'm quite diverse in my TV watching. I've just finished Blue Lights on the BBC iPlayer, which I really like. Shout out for that. It's a very good series. In fact, I've probably just given you a really good TV series there because you could go. That was season 3, so it's very good. If you like crime drama with organised crime against like investigation, it's very, very good. I checked that out on iPlayer. But I'm watching Victoria Beckham's documentary because that was my time in the 90s. You know, she was married to she still is married to my favourite player. So it's an interesting time, and he is in it. Yeah. Favourites for the title. Napoli are a goal behind. Yes, MJ. No Rasmussen or McTominay today. I think they're both injured, aren't they? So, yeah, tough on them. I might just have a sit down for a moment. Trouble is, when I sit down, I don't want the mood to go down. But I will sit down just for 10. Spurs win tomorrow against Villa. Look at that. Bournemouth very unlucky not to have 2 more points. Palace, very good point for them. Late penalty against Bournemouth. Whoever the new manager is of Nottingham Forest, tough 2 games to start off with in the Prem. Away to Bournemouth and at home to United. You could see them starting off with 2 losses really. Promise Mark, listen to more Beatles. I've listened to loads. I've got the Blue and the Red album. I don't listen to them. Radiohead or Oasis? Easily Oasis. Look. Anyway, it's not a Scouse thing because I don't like Man City and I like Oasis. So music for me doesn't really matter about where you're from. Brendan Rodgers to Forest, says Stuart. Look, there's some good players there, but they lack an identity. Graham Potter's got the Sweden job, apparently, Anne. '80s music, in my opinion, is the best decade. I have got an '80s playlist on my phone, actually. Very different type of music in the '80s. Very unique. What subs would you make for Arsenal? I mean, look, Trossard's an easy player to take off, but he's only going to bring Martinelli on. And in a game like this, I don't know whether Martinelli offers you much more. You need, as I say, you need a lock picker. lock picker. That might be a Wanyeri or a Dowman, to be fair. But look, Fulham have got a part to play in this. I mean, are Fulham happy to sit at home and park the bus? If they are happy to do that, then you do need to be, find a way to break them down. But they haven't scored. It's 0-0. So Fulham can't just sit and do that for 45 minutes. I think they've got to have a go as well, and that gives you opportunities on the break. But Fulham have worked ridiculously hard. I think the evidence of Fulham's work rate was in full view when Gyökeres led that counter-attack, got it to Timber. And I could see Fulham 9 players back, and there was about 4 Arsenal players on the attack. So their work rate from Fulham has been very, very good. Freddie Stockham says, "Hi Mark, not sure if you've covered this. What do you think about FIFA trialling a system at the Under-20 World Cup where managers hold up a card to request a VAR review for refereeing errors?" Honestly, I think it's a shame. It's needed, and it may well be needed. But fundamentally, we don't need it because it's almost a get out of jail for shit officiating. They're shit in this country. And then we're going to bring in a card system which will allow them to be even more shit because they'll go, it doesn't matter if I make a mistake because it's on them to appeal. And what happens then? You get like the Liverpool offside or the Mbeumo Nathan Collins red card, and your manager doesn't put the card up. And then instead of going, I can't believe how shit VAR is, people will be going, I can't believe the manager didn't put the card up. So I think it's, I don't like it because I don't think we need it. That the mistakes we're getting shouldn't be happening when you have a system that is in play to be reviewed to stop mistakes. So why do we need a card system? For me, I find it sad that we need it. And to me, it's not solving the actual problem of consistency. The Originals is a good series for Halloween, says The Game is the Game. Thank you very much. Never heard of it. Vampires. All right, lads. I'm out for my evening 10k and go and say hi to the cute barista. Arteta out. Catch you all tomorrow. 10k rub. There's a lot of people out doing running. I just think, what about your knees? A lot of people obsessed with 5ks and 10ks, and it's great. People getting out there doing fitness work, etc. But my dad used to do a lot of running, and he advised me when I was in my 20s, don't do running. And I was like, why? I'm very good at it. And he said, my knees are knackered from running. And I think, yeah. So I don't do anything now. I just sit and watch Netflix. And if people say, why aren't you going for a run? I'll say, because it's not worth the damage on my knees. So Jim Radcliffe likes a run. The Originals is a good set. I've done that one from The Game. Did you like Paul McCartney with Wings? I like Man on the Run. That was the Wings. Man on the Run. Man on the Run. I do like that one. Walking's the True Medicine. Band on the Run, not Man on the Run. You know what? I didn't realise it was called Band on the Run till then. That's like, I like that song. And imagine what I'm thinking. Like, I've always thought he was a man on the run from, like, the police or something. I just imagined him running away through fields and stuff. Now I've got to manage. I've got to imagine it's a band. Come on, let's get the second half up and running. I don't want to look at this Pratt walking around in his white trainers. Live and Let Die was by the Wings. One of the best Bond themes, says Cameron. My favourite Bond theme is I don't know whether it was... It must have been. We have all the time... I can't do it. In the world. I love that. Louis Armstrong. Some good Bond songs, to be fair. I like Living Daylights by Aha. What are the funniest misheard lyrics, says Tina Collins? Well, I thought it was Man on the Run. I don't know whether that's funny or not, but I did. If you go to a running specialist and have a gait analysis done, they can recommend the appropriate running shoes to prevent you from pronating, says Andrew Gardner. Just seen the Harry Kane goal there for Dortmund from a corner. Sorry, for Bayern. 1-0 up. Right, I'm going to stand up again. Every woman, every man, join the caravan of love. Stand up, stand up, stand up. I'm your brother. I'm your brother, don't you know? I better stand up, better I? Stop talking in your white trainers. I mean, you couldn't have a more football pundit set of trainers there. 2 white pair of trainers and the black ones with the white trim. Got your coffee? That's all he's bothered about, his coffee. That Fulham coach. Right. Let's go, ref. Let's go. Are we going to get a goal? Are we going to get a goal, everybody? No changes at half-time. Oh, look, referee's found another way to hold it up. Over. Nick P says, I used to think Liberian Girl by Michael Jackson was Librarian Girl up until a year ago when someone told me. So, yeah, literally, you'd be singing that thinking she's in a library. MD says, was getting Sesko over Gyökeres a blessing in disguise? I was sceptical about getting rid of Rasmus for another 22-year-old, but he has bags of experience. I like Gyökeres, and I know it's fashionable to take the piss out of him, but I do like Gyökeres. I think he will score goals. I think Arsenal have got to learn to feed him. When you look at Man City, they pretty much are focused on that. Whereas Arsenal have got players like Saka and Odegaard and Trossard and Martinelli and everything, and they're not used to playing with a striker, so I think it will take time. Have you seen the film Collateral? Says JH. I have. I've not seen it for a while. Ian O'Connell says, Sir Jim Radcliffe likes a run. It's a pity he can't run a club. Look, good stuff. Come on, Fulham. You've got to offer a little bit in this second half. Good interception. Of course, Saka captain with no Odegaard. Timber, good play. No, bad pass. Bad pass. I have seen Voltemader's goal. Yeah, very good. Ultimately wasn't enough. Rice is free there. Trossard, can he silence us all? No. I built that up, didn't I? It was half a chance on the back post. That referee does look like Trossard a lot, doesn't he? I think Gyökeres got the shout there from Trossard. That's why he left it. Terrible shot. Absolutely shit shot. Anticlimactic it was. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. If you've not subscribed to the channel before, you're very welcome on That's Football. No matter who you support, everybody's welcome on here. Please do subscribe. We were very close to 430,000 earlier. I'm just about to check, and we have hit it. So thanks everyone who subscribed. Appreciate that. Next watch-along I'm doing will be on the United stand tomorrow afternoon, which is United against Liverpool at Anfield. But we have got the Champions League back on Tuesday and Wednesday. Saka into the box. Still into the box. And they've cleared it. So close. Whose kit's better, says it's Louis. Arsenal or Fulham? Arsenal. Yeah. This is a good run by Saka. Gets a little bit lucky there. Tries to cut it back. Fulham just about getting rid of it. But then, you know, you can't say it's luck. Fulham getting numbers back all the time. Another corner for Arsenal, though. They're good at corners. Statistically, they're good at corners. Yeah, they're good at corners. Yeah, I've seen Arsenal do this lots of times, and they do score a lot from corners. But why are they taking them short? That's the second time they've took a short corner today, and that they don't score from short corners. They need to put it into the box, into the mixer. Will he do it this time? Another corner. Trying to mix it up, aren't they? You know what? No one ever thinks of the goalkeeper, do they? No one ever thinks of Raya now and what he's doing. Like, all alone. You never think of the goalkeeper at the other end when it's all down the other end, do you? I don't. Crap corner by Saka. Really bad. Where do you think Saka ranks in the list of right wingers in the world right now? And do you think he will be important in what England does? I think he's definitely in the top 5 in the world for right wingers. Obviously, he's not the best, but I'd say he's in the top 5. Countdown City says, as an American long-time United supporter, hold on, Fulham are on the attack. Go wide to Iwobi. He does. Here's Iwobi. Nice little layoff. Wilson is going to get an overlap. No, he's ignored it for a shot over the bar. So Countdown City says, as an American long-time United supporter, I think it would be amazing for the Premier League for Bournemouth to win the title. Do you agree? They're not going to win the title, but it would be amazing. Although we have seen it before with Leicester. I wore the Christmas jumper on the morning show, Vidan, on the United stand. People are not impressed by this game. Here's Trossard. Well, it is defence against attack. Saliba gets it back to Rea. Well, if Arsenal can't win a game like this tonight, it's going to condense everything at the top of the league. I mean, am I right in saying that? Yes, I am. If Arsenal draw and Liverpool beat Man United tomorrow, Liverpool are back on top. That's how quickly things can change. As I said at the start of the show, like Arsenal have had a difficult start to the season, but their next 4 games, Burnley, Sunderland, Palace, after this, you know, these are the games you have to go and get 4 wins from 4 and really ramp up the pressure on everybody else, having got good results away from home. Another corner for Arsenal, by the way. Who would you take from Fulham to United, says it's Louis? I think King is interesting. I thought it was a corner. It's actually a goal kick. I think King is interesting at Fulham. You could argue, to be fair, in hindsight, Sanderberg's better than a lot of our midfielders. Robinson when he's fit, obviously. There's probably not a team in the Premier League that you wouldn't take at least 3 or 4 of their players for Man United, because we have got 3 or 4 significant holes. How many holes does a human being have in their body? I think it's 6. Oh, good chance, Fulham. Over the bar. Wilson. Wow, half a chance. 6 or 7, depending on your gender, yes. Seven being the fanny. Or chuff. Oh, you got your eyes as well. Yes, good point. Why do I always forget about the eyes? Eight, then. Or 9. Start, bench, sell, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses. What, personally, I would sell AC/DC, bench Led Zeppelin, and start the Guns N' Roses, because I liked Guns N' Roses growing up. November Rain, Paradise City. Civil War, that was good. Gyökeres, I think he gets fouled there. No, he's not going to give it, though. Not going to give it. I mean, it's one of those where you never see them given, and he tries to stay on his feet, but ultimately, is it a foul anywhere else on the pitch? Yeah. I mean, anywhere else on the pitch, that's a foul. That's a foul. I'm sorry. I'm not wrong. Anywhere else on the pitch, that's a foul. But because it's in the box, oh, it's too soft. See it all the time. Look, whether it's soft or not, it's still a bloody foul, isn't it? It goes into the back of him, and he can't stay on his feet. Do you think Dyche should be good at Forest? I think he would be good at Forest. I just don't know whether he matches the ambition of what they're looking to do. They want to win the Europa League, and they want to keep playing in Europe, and that's not really what Dyche is all about, is it? It's going to be a long old half for Fulham, this. I think Arsenal score at some point. Eze. Good defending. Another player goes down. Playing in the Premier League should come with a health hazard. It's amazing how many players go down clutching their face and then get up in 2 minutes. If there was a Barca, PSG, or even Bayern, they would absolutely steam through this league. All teams are mid-tier, which is why it's so competitive, says Abraham. Well, I suppose the proof in that pudding will be if we... who wins the Champions League? Can an English club win the Champions League? I think we have to. I think we have to see an English Champions League winner soon, because you can't keep saying it's the best league in the world and then not win the Champions League. Goal, Fulham, Arsenal, back post, Trossard, 1-0 from a corner. We've seen it all before. We've seen this movie before. And it's a little bit disappointing that it comes from another corner, but it's not like we don't know they're good at it. And it's a literal tap-in for Trossard on the back post from a corner from Arsenal. And that's the goal. The dark art, says Gosha. Set piece FC, Stoke FC. The chat's going wild. Saka with the cross. Flicked on. Gabriel. And then Trossard with the tap-in. Look, say what you like about it, but they're very difficult to deal with. And it's Gabriel again. Assist this time. Saka third behind Trump and Farage for right wingers, says Keel. 1-0 Arsenal, 58th minute. Slot's going to be going mad that Arsenal scored from a corner again, says Nude. Well, look, it should open the game up a little bit now. I think Fulham had a good first half an hour, but last 15 minutes of the first half, first 15 minutes of the second half, they have been very defensive. Maybe they're tired. They've got to open up a little bit now. Sky Sports are saying Dyche is in talks with Forest, apparently, according to Ollie. Thanks in the chat there. Trossard, play it into Eze. There's an offside. Arsenal unimpressive, says Danu. But if they come away with 3 points, look at the league table. And that's not even right. That's right. 3 points clear at the top. 4 points off Liverpool, you know. Gyökeres down the left-hand side. Trossard. Puts a cross in. Not a very good one. Well, we've all criticised Trossard. He's got the goal. Arsenal fan, I'll admit it, this has been a tough watch, but I'm only here for 3 points, says Peter. Look, let non-Arsenal fans moan about set piece, etc. If you're an Arsenal fan and you're moaning about winning when you're not at your best, I don't get that. I don't. It'll be a disgrace if they, for football, if they win the league, says Robert McCormack. Well, that's the responsibility with everybody else, Robert. Another player down injured. This is going to take another 20 minutes. Funny how Arsenal fans have gone from loving Wenger football but not winning to loving set piece FC, says Jason Knight. Robert, you're not an Arsenal fan. Robert, you're a United fan though. I mean, surely even you would want, like me, Arsenal to win the league over a Liverpool or a Man City. Surely. Surely, Robert. Surely you would. Moreno's coming on for Eze here. So slightly defensive move that from Arteta. Don't think that's going to win him any more praise, if that's what he's looking for. Saturday night dance, I like the way you move. Wigfield. King's come off for Fulham as well. come on, Fulham. Get on the front foot a little bit here. You can't just go out with a whimper. I mean, we all saw it. We've all seen this movie before. You know, you sit back and you defend. You can't do it for 45 minutes because they'll get corners and at some point they'll score. And Arsenal, to be fair, Arsenal had a few shit corners. Still Saka. Good save, Leno. Yeah, they're starting to pump it up a little bit here. You know, pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Bam, 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 bam. You've got to pump it up. Yeah, you just can't. You just can't sit back and keep a clean sheet. So they're a different type of opposition. Penalty. Oh my God. The stupidity of this. I think it is a penalty. I think he's got it right. But the stupidity of this from the Fulham player. Saka's going away from goal. Right on the edge of the box. And he clatters him. He's only just come on as a sub. No, he gets the ball. Gets the ball. That's not a pen. Gets enough of the ball for me. Yeah, gets the ball. Not a penalty. That'll get overturned. But I tell you what, it's a recklessly stupid tackle, that. And he's very lucky he's not given a penalty away in such a stupid situation. Yeah, gets... Well, does he kick the player first? Yeah, gets the ball. You're stretching. They might say it's not conclusive, you know. I don't think that's a penalty. I have to get a poll on the go. Mate, you can see him getting the bloody ball. That's not the angle. Why are you looking at that angle? That's the angle. No touch on the player. Gets the ball. Come on. What we saying, chat? Is that a pen? Well, I think it's going to get overruled because Anthony Taylor's going to VAR. Garrett says he doesn't touch the ball. Tanishq says, fun fact, Chelsea have more set-piece goals this season than Arsenal, yet there's radio silence about that in the media. Pedro has 1 shot in 6 games. Countdown City says, last super chat, just want to say appreciate all you do, Mark. Thank you very much, mate. And you have a huge following here in the States. Love to hear that, pal. Thank you very much. I want the best team, not this crap, says Robert McCormack. 70% are basically saying it's not a penalty. I mean, this is not the angle to show Anthony Taylor. That is not the angle to show Anthony Taylor. Why are they showing this? Is he being shown other stuff? Why do we take so long here? Show the fucking angle that's made you call him over. Oh, the league's in the bloody... That's not the angle to show him, you fucking morons. That's not the angle to show him. That's not the angle to show him, you dicks. That's not the angle to show him. That's not the angle. Hello! Stop. This is the one. There, gets the ball. Thank you. Not a penalty, look. Just show him that one straight away. You can see him get the bloody ball. Gets the ball. Thank you. Fucking hell. Here we go. Decision time, Anthony Taylor. Yeah, no penalty. That's the right decision. It's the right decision. If that happens at Anfield tomorrow, I will sit here going, please give it us, but I don't think it's a penalty. He gets the ball. You can see it. It's clear as day. Gets the ball. We don't want to outlaw that sort of a tackle. He shouldn't be making that tackle, by the way. It's stupid and reckless, but he does get the ball. And if I was Marco Silva, I'd be calling him into my office on Monday and I'd say, never, ever, 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 ever do that again, you prat. That's not how you tackle someone like Saka in the box. 66% are saying it's not a penalty. Hey, if that happens to United tomorrow, I want a penalty. Come on. But it's not for me. I always try and be fair on this. And look, normally, if I've got a chance to go in on what is a very, very incompetent organisation, I will do it. But that's why it's powerful when you do go in on them, which is very regularly, because you can't always be negative. And I think they got the right decision there. So I applaud it. It just takes too bloody long. I don't know why they were showing an angle that he can't see from. We'll be playing till Christmas, though. There's going to be so much added time. I don't know. Yeah, I tell you what. People say I'm a little bit like Uncle Albert when it comes to the Bundesliga. But in the Bundesliga, they'd have had that wrapped up in 30 seconds. We are so slow here. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. As always, 20 minutes to go here, but we'll probably get 10 minutes added on. Nice little flick by Gyökeres, Trossard. No one in the box. Trossard, crap. Yeah, still 1-0 Bayern. Harry Kane's goal against Dortmund. I mean, and 1-0's enough, isn't it? It will be enough. They have been the better side. Dortmund have not even had a shot on target. And they're into the 75th minute there. Well, there's a comparison. They kicked off at 5:30 as well, and they're in the 75th minute, and we're in the 71st. It just shows you straight away, doesn't it? Things get done quicker. 1080p says, no penalty, to be fair. Love tears from opposition fans for corners. Obviously an Arsenal fan. Fair play for being honest, mate. HMS says, say no to digital ID. Napoli are still losing as well to Torino. But no Rasmus, you see. They lost 1-0. Hearts are beating Kilmarnock 2-0. They'll still be top. Barcelona beat Girona. They're 3-0 up now, Hearts, actually. Breaking news. Bournemouth versus Palace would have been a great watch. I know. I never even thought about doing the 3 o'clocks today, and I should have done. But, you know, you live and learn. This is what titles are made of, though. I know a lot about titles. I've seen Man United win loads of them. I'm in my 40s, you know, I've seen them all. And people criticising you because they're jealous when you're winning 1-0 and you haven't played that well. Inject it, you know. Embrace it. These are the sort of games where 3 points is so much better than 1. Touching the ball is the difference, unfortunately, says 1080. Look, you can foul somebody and get the ball, 100%. You can fly in 2-footed, get the ball and break someone's leg. So, yeah, you can get the ball and have a foul, 100%. But I think in the context of football, it's a little bit like the penalty that Palace got. That's not a penalty for me, even though he does throw him to the ground, because we see it 99% of the time not given. And I think that tackle by the Fulham player was stupid, but he gets away with it because he does get a bit of the ball. I've seen him given, though, but for me, that's not a penalty. It's a personal choice. It's one of them borderline ones. Come on, Smith Rowe. Tap, bang one into the top corner, says Papa. Papa, don't preach. I mean, that's not a penalty, no way. No way, no way. Stopping the clock again, Anthony Taylor. Can we get the camera on me a little bit more? More camera on me. When I'm over there as well. I can't hear you. Are you putting the camera on me? They're going mad. The camera's not on him. I like some of Phil Collins' music, Sean. Yeah. Bayern scored a second. Yeah, it's game over. I mean, look, Bayern were always going to win this game. Dortmund haven't even had a shot on goal. Big mistake leads to the goal, and it's Mikel Elise who makes it 2-0. Kane and Elise. Premier League connection. Who's watching West Ham versus Brentford on Monday night? Not me. I don't like Monday night football anyway. And do I not like West Ham against Brentford? Is a typical Monday night football game I'm not going to watch. Although United have got 3 Monday night games after the international break before Christmas. 3 fucking times. We'll close the poll. 63% saying it wasn't a penalty for Arsenal. 37% saying it is. So a little bit more borderline. It wasn't a landslide. Can they get back into this Fulham? Computer says no. Well, this is where Arsenal's defence fancies itself. At some point it will crumble, but they are just very good at defending. Harry Kane's pass in the build-up for Bayern is getting a lot of praise. I've just watched it there. I mean, it's good. There is a predictability to this. You know, you've got to score against Arsenal, basically. If you don't score, they'll find a way to score themselves. We've been doing it for a long time now. Arsenal's title-winning strategy is to put the opposition to sleep and the VAR cameras to run out of battery. Change my mind, says Andreas. To be honest, I think possession shows you that it has been Arsenal probing, and Fulham haven't had a shot on target. So, you know, it's on Fulham to get back into the game, isn't it? Halloween or Easter, says HMS. I'm not a big fan of Easter. I mean, I'm not sure what Halloween is, but I would prefer it to Easter. King Oasis says Fulham will score. I don't know. I think it's got a classic 1-0 written all over it. Gyökeres! Oh, that's getting clipped. That's getting clipped. Yeah, he's got to do better there. He's got to do better there. I mean, he basically ends up on the bounce, 6 yards out. Maybe that's why he doesn't shoot with his left. But you know what? I think if you're an Arsenal fan, you'd embrace the criticism of Gyökeres because you'd go look at the league table. Yeah. And that's the modern world we live in, though. You can still get bantered even when you're top of the league. Oh, your striker's shit, you know, this, that, and the other. But look at the league table. It don't lie. You're 3 points clear. So 1080 is 1080p Pixel, who is an Arsenal fan, says we played exciting football and won nothing for 10 years. Any concerns about Arsenal's chance of winning the Premier League this season? I think that Adama Traore is coming on with 10 minutes to go. I think that, in fairness to Arsenal, for the last hour, Fulham have parked the bus. And they've got the goal from the corner, and they'll get criticised for that. But it's hard to play open, compelling football when you're up against a team that parks the bus. And they'll only stop parking the bus now because they're 1-0 down. Dortmund have got a goal back. There is still time. 5 minutes to go. Brandt makes it 2-1. Interesting last 5 minutes there. My favourite Phil Collins song is Paradise, says Inquisition. It is a bit depressing. It's a nice song, but it is a bit depressing. I like Against All Odds. And I like the one with the drums in it. Air Tonight. Something in the Air Tonight as well. You Can't Hurry Love's good as well. Yeah, United stand 8 o'clock. I've not decided what we're talking about yet. I've just set it up as Saturday Night Live. But I think it's been I do actually think it's been a bad weekend for United because we're down to 11th. Timber. Fulham looking for another penalty. Arsenal looking for another penalty there. I don't think they'll get it. Gyökeres fell over, and then it looked like the overhead kick might have hit an Arsenal player. Martinelli with the overhead. Nah. Not for me. I mean, it goes off his body onto his arm. I think that'd be very, very harsh. Don't just play on, ref. Come on, we'll be here all night. I've got me 5 guys on order. That's what I went for. 5 guys tonight. Oh, fuck off. Well, that's not a penalty on Gyökeres. And that wasn't a handball either, so play on. Although, looking at that Gyökeres one, there's not a lot of difference. And this proves my point as well. That Gyökeres one, there's no difference to that and what happened to Bournemouth. And if you're a Bournemouth fan, you'd go, well, this is the problem, isn't it? Why is it not a penalty on Gyökeres, but it's a penalty for Palace? So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly why I think Bournemouth were very harshly done by, because you look at it and go, well, he is grabbing him. And then you go, well, it happens all the time and we never get penalties for it. Yeah, Five Guys burgers are very expensive, but they are very nice. And all the immature little comments in the chat says a lot about your immaturity when I'm just talking about food. Wouldn't you agree, baby, you and me got a groovy kind of love. That's Phil Collins as well. All my mates are Arsenal fans and are so arrogant, very quick to laugh at Chelsea, but at the end of the day, what have they won, says Hayden Brown. It's amazing. What footballing stat do you find amazing? I've got to say, it must really bother Arsenal fans, although I've never heard an Arsenal fan mention it much. But not winning a Champions League or a European Cup, that must sting a little bit. Because Liverpool, Man United, Man City now, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, you know, there are a number of clubs in the Premier League that have won a European Cup or a Champions League. I find it amazing that Arsenal haven't won one, because they've been good in the past and they've been good in the Premier League era. So it surprises me that they haven't done it. They haven't won a European Cup, LA. They haven't won it. Even Tottenham have a European title. No, Arsenal have won a UEFA Cup. I remember them. I'm sure I remember them winning the UEFA Cup or a Cup Winners' Cup. But Inquisition says, when I was young, my school journeys were long, so I built an appreciation for the 60s and the 80s music from my dad's car radio. There we go, Inquisition. Arsenal fans arrogant, brags the Chelsea fans, says 1080p. It's all going off in the chat here. And Sangnick says, we dodged a bullet with Gyökeres, he's absolutely bad. I think he'd struggle in a United side, definitely, yeah. But I don't think it's a problem for Arsenal. Another player down here. They do it on purpose, Lynn. I do think the officiating has, because players know you're going to get a foul for nothing. I think players do go down and overact. I don't think there's anything wrong with Saka there. It's just go down, have a rest, win the free kick, we go again. How do you solve it? You stop giving soft free kicks and you play on when these players go down and they'll stop doing it. But we feed the game. I don't see Fulham getting a goal in this. I think it's got 1-0 written all over it. I've said that before, but I can't see it. Corner, Arsenal. Could be another one here. Get your helmets on, Arsenal fans. You could be getting some pelters if you score from this. Shouldn't have even been a corner. Don't know what the linesman's looking at there, because it definitely goes off Zubimendi. How many minutes do you think he'll add on? Well, because the game's been shit boring, he added 6 minutes in the first half, so I think he's going to add 8. I'm going to say 8. Saka. Flick again to the back post. Still within there. Saliba just blasts it into the crowd. If in doubt, kick it out. Have it. Anthony scored for Betis. I'm starving now. I'm really hungry. Really hungry. Have you ever watched the Comedy Peep Show? Yeah, I blasted through them a few years ago. I really enjoyed it. Like, I literally enjoyed it so much. When I think it was through COVID. I used to just go and watch 3 or 4 episodes at lunchtime. Just whizzed through it. Really did enjoy it. One of my mates is re-watching The Sopranos at the moment. I've watched 4 or 5 episodes and I stopped. I always think I'd re-watch a series. I always said when Game of Thrones finished, I'd re-watch it. And I maybe will one day, but I'm not very good at re-watching stuff. Fulham had a corner there, cleared away. Are Arsenal a wish version of Atletico Madrid? Well, they're playing each other on Tuesday night. Gamora's good. I didn't finish it, but I did like it. I might go back and finish Gamora. I stopped watching it when the... well, I don't want to ruin it for everyone else. Trouble with Gamora is I used to watch it late at night. It's like an Italian organised crime show. And it's good. But it's subtitles, obviously, because I don't speak much Italian. And I find if I watch a documentary or subtitled shows at the end of the night, at the end of the day, I go to sleep, which is not a bad thing. I tell you what, I'd never fall asleep in Jaws. Heart's racing, man. Osman says, I've knocked one out to Salah's highlights. I love football, but never in that. 9 minutes. 9 minutes added on. Anthony Taylor just cannot help himself. He loves it. It's all about me. He changes the words to that song by McFly. It's meant to be, it's all about you. And Anthony Taylor goes, it's all about me. It's all about me, baby. 9 minutes. Fucking hell. So 6 minutes in the first half and 9 minutes in the second half. Wow. I'm going to tweet it just to piss everybody off. Anthony Taylor's mum doesn't do his hair. Definitely not. You're a bit like that man Corrigan, to be honest, is NAU. Corrigan? Corrigan? Should do an eating challenge. I love watching some of the eating challenges, but I definitely and I do like food, but I could never do an eating challenge. That's not about enjoying food. That's just having the ability to ram something down your throat and keep doing it. And that's not for me. Like I watched Ben Foster do one with Beard Meats Food, the fish and chip one. And he hardly ate anything from it. Saka. Gyökeres. Good shot. Leno. Good save, Leno. Double save from Martinelli as well. We're in London, aren't we? Yeah, T says it's a shame for Fulham. They can't score. They're just running up front with no clue on how to finish. Yeah, I think they beard meets food plus Mark Goldbridge collab. I'd do it, but I'd be crap at eating food. Cooking with Goldbridge should be back in in 2 weeks. Yeah, but you know what? You look at Fulham, and I think I think I saw something in the summer about this, that they need a striker, and for whatever reason, it's difficult, isn't it? You know, they're competitive. They're not a team that's going to go down, but they don't have the resources of even a Newcastle, do they? So Fulham would be looking at mid-table this year. I'll tell you what, Marco Silva would be a good manager for Forest. I don't think they'll get him, but I think he would be a good manager. David Mitchell plays the character Mark Corrigan in Peep Show. I don't look anything like him. Nonsense. MJ says, still no shots on target for Fulham. You were right about Arsenal. Finished 2-1 Bayern Munich against Dortmund. To be fair, Dortmund have probably made that a bit of a slightly closer fixture result than it is. Norgard's coming on for Arsenal. Gyökeres going off. I find it really weird, right? I guarantee you this week on numerous talk shows, articles from journalists, ex-players, they'll spend time this week going in on Gyökeres, 100%. And I look at it, and this is why I'm not a big fan of Player FC, because the way I look at it is, Gyökeres isn't scoring goals for Arsenal. Okay. Where are Arsenal in the league? Top by 3 points. Yeah. See you later. You carry on talking. I'm not interested in anything else. Arsenal are top by 3 points. You spend your time slagging Gyökeres off. You go and enjoy yourself. Where are Arsenal in the league? Is it causing them any problems? No. Is Sesko doing better than Gyökeres? Yes. Where are Man United in the league? We could be 12th or 13th tomorrow. What I'm trying to say is I'd rather be Arsenal with a misfiring striker than United with a good striker but in the bottom half of the table. Are you confident? I'm excited. I think these are the games where you learn the most about yourself. Although for United, it's probably not. We learn most about ourselves against the Brentfords where we don't turn up. But I'm excited about it. I mean, it's a great opportunity. I just hope we can turn up and take it. But Liverpool are dangerous. 3 losses in a row at home to their biggest rival. There's a lot to motivate them. We could play this game till Christmas. In fact, Anthony Taylor seems to want to, but I don't think Fulham are going to score. Another clean sheet for Arsenal, says Jason. Well, we're into the last 10 seconds here, unless Anthony Taylor adds on another half an hour. And there it is, final whistle. Arsenal win 1-0. Very good result for them. Look, I'll do a quick match reaction on it and I'll say my piece, but I think it will be, as you look at the league table, that's all that matters. But there will be obviously criticism. All I'd say is maybe the criticism is justified for non-Arsenal fans. But if you're an Arsenal fan, why would you moan about that? You know, as somebody said, you played well for a decade and won nothing. You're now, you know, doing really, really well. So there we go. Anyway, I'm going to go and eat because I'm starving, but I'm on That's Football. I'm back on United Stand at 8 o'clock, Saturday Night Live, if you want to join me over there. You remind me of Matt Watson from Car Wow, says Jide. Don't know what that is. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thank you for keeping me company on what was quite a dull game, and I'll see you on United Stand at 8. Take care.